Hello, hello. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday. Okay, looks like everything is working. That we got it working yesterday, and so now it's working today, but let's make sure. Let's see, let's see. Let's see. I think it's. Oh, yep, it's working. There we go. Hello. Let me. So the only thing that's not working, it's okay though, because it's just the one thing I forgot to do, is switch it to, there we go, our whiteboard. There you go, but we're all set now. Hello. Now we're ready. Yeah, okay, we're ready to go. So I am here waiting for you. Hi, Cousin B. Thanks for being here. I got a little too excited with my birthday gift, so it took me a little bit longer. I meant to go live earlier, but I got a little too excited with my birthday gift. Thanks for being here. I think we only had a couple of things from yesterday that were for maybe today, but I really don't have a plan, so we'll see how this thing goes. Thanks, cousin B. That makes me feel better. All right, so while we're waiting, we could start the list. Hey, Judy, thanks for being here. I put my gifts down long enough to get live. I was just so excited. I was just so excited. I think I brought your numbers over, Judy, so we could look at those today. Um, but what else should we talk about today? I don't have any plans. There weren't any. Well, I can't say that there weren't any big vibrations coming through hip hop this week. It really was like a lot of um like cleaning house stuff. So it was like a lot of vibrations, a lot of energy that we had seen before. That was like cleaning house in preparation for the new year, which we would expect in all areas of life right now. But you let me know if there's specific topics you want me to cover. And if there isn't any, then well, even if there is, we can make our little list. Let me find. Yeah, okay. So here are the numbers for today. So 238 was our vibration from last week. So we'll talk about that. And then it's these top ones that were yours, Judy. If I know that because Judy can't come with just not one number. Judy be tapped in, so we get all the numbers. So we'll do these, and then maybe what we could do is, and per usual, I'm very open to whatever you all want to talk about. Um, but we could maybe use the hip hop chart to look at some more of the astrology pieces because we didn't get to that yesterday with the US chart, so we could do that too. I know, Judy. It's just fun to tease. Just a little tease. Just a little tease. Michelle, thanks for being here. Yeah, so we could look at the hip hop birth chart also. Okay, so real quick, let's talk about this 238. Because that was our vibration from this week. Yes, Judy. I think we could talk about that in general, and maybe we can actually get a lot of good information from looking at the chart. Yeah. Oh, hi, Josh. Thanks for being here. Welcome in. Okay, so 238. We'll look at that real quick because that was our vibration from our wheel last week. And so 238, it's interesting because the vibrations that are actually connecting to this from this past week are, it's actually, because we saw this 13-4 yesterday too, but the big connection is actually coming from this 23 with where 23 is the numerical vibration of I am, and this 8 is like the returning of energy. It's that reap what you sow. So it's, if we saw any of these themes, I think we saw a lot of these themes, not just in hip hop, but really across life, of like this energy coming back, or things that you did in the past coming back, and it really putting a highlight and questioning your identity, your I am. So that's interesting. But this vibration would really want us to take that energy that's coming back to us, apply it to our identity so that we can actually make a larger transformation and have that transformation actually change the foundation of who we are. So it seems like this vibration came through a little bit differently than how at least I saw it last week when we first got our wheels spun. I don't know why that spinning the wheel was so aggressive. It just felt like it needed to be. Oh my goodness. Okay, before we move on, I have to tell you that I know, like, I'm never here at a regular time. I'm just here whenever I'm here. But I was intending to be here earlier. But my birthday gift came early. My birthday gift to myself came early. It wasn't supposed to be here until Monday, but it came today. I was so excited. And so, for those of you that didn't hear, I bought myself a whole grounding kit. Um, the website is called Earthing, and it's, there's a lot of this scientific research that shows that not only are we water, but we are conductors of energy, which we know, and of electricity. So our nerves use electricity. And so a lot of our ailments and is caused by inflammation, which is caused by um, like the electric energy or the energy in general not moving through your body properly. And so these grounding mats help keep your energy moving. So, like while you're sleeping, oh my gosh, I don't know if I could. Oh, I do have. I got some free books. They're really big, Judy. But I got some books. I got a mat that goes on my bed. That's the one that's really big. So it goes under your sheet. And then there's another mat that goes under my yoga mat. And I can show you this, I think. Maybe. No, I'm gonna hurt myself. I have the ankle ones on where you put it on your ankles and then it's pulling the energy through the bottom of my feet. It's actually making me hotter. I thought it would actually help me not get so hot, but I don't know. I know you all aren't being noisy. It's very helpful to get grounded. So I'm just super excited. Exactly. I got two free books after saying I don't read enough. Yep, universe always got jokes. And they're really good books. Well, I like most books, but these are ones I really like because they're the scientific studies. So it actually talks about the biology and the biochemistry of grounding, like what's actually happening in your body and how the healing process works. So that's going to be super interesting. So I will bring you some of that information when I start reading them. And it's right in time because I should have some time to read finally. Okay, so that's my whole explanation. Why it took me a little bit longer. But I'm very excited to be here. Um why don't I let me go grab I'm going to grab Judy's numbers and we can look at Judy's numbers. And while we're looking at Judy's numbers, let me know what events, topics, people in the hip hop space that you want to talk about today. I have nothing. So we can totally go unplanned. Um but we also can look at the hip hop birth chart because I do have some stuff that I was going to show you yesterday on the US birth chart, but we can look at the hip hop birth chart if that's something else you want to do. So, while we look at Judy's numbers, we can you can put stuff in the chat if you want to. And we always can just go as it flows as well. All right, let me move this somewhere. Ooh. Oh, I just noticed that you were your numbers are number 5. I don't know why I didn't notice that yesterday. That's pretty funny. That 5 is just haunting you here. I'll take it away. All right, so you got 2 times here. These times, so 11, 11, and this 222. These definitely are just they're those announcement vibrations. So a lot of times when we have these double digit or 3-digit numbers where they all of the numbers are the same, it's just a louder vibration to get our attention. So for both of these, Judy, do you know what you were doing, thinking about when these came up? Because these are going to be an announcement vibration that whatever it's tied to is where the message is. So while you let me know in the chat if there's anything more to go with those, let's look at this 181. Because 181 is actually one that I saw and was experiencing this week as well. So for the last couple weeks, we've had a lot of these portal numbers being very active. And usually when I see that these portal numbers are being very active, it's like they're being used to shift more energy. It's like the energy needs more um movement. So it's kind of like on, you know how on some highways um where some parts of the highway will be like a 3 lane and other parts will be 4 lane and then other parts will be 5 lanes. um these portal numbers work like they're adding lanes. They're adding additional ways that the energy can move in and out of the space. And so I see these a lot when it's helping to move energy either in or out of the space. And usually it's both at the same time. But we know it's a portal vibration when it has the same number on both sides. Because this is what creates the portal, because they're these vibrations that are the same, they want to be near each other, and so they're creating this like kind of like a whirlpool motion. The only thing with these vibrational portals is that they're not one directional. They go both ways. So they pull energy into the space, but they also pull energy out of the space at the same time. Um, and then it's this energy that's right in the middle is what is coming through this portal, either in or out. Oh, that's probably where I saw it also. I also saw it a couple of other places too. Um, but this is what's coming in and out. And we actually just talked about this 8, where this 8 is like that reap what you sow energy. Also, whenever anybody talks about or feels like karma, it's usually from this 8 energy. And so that's how it's described. So we have this portal that is pushing through this energy of bringing the energy back into the space, which makes a lot of sense right now because we're in the last few weeks of the last month of 2025. And where 2025 is a 9 year, so it's supposed to be bringing a lot of endings, but also preparing a lot of energy to be shifted into the next year or into another space. So it could be a lot of things like ending in one part of our lives, and then that energy is getting shifted into a new part of our life. And it doesn't have to be at the new year, but that's kind of how it's flowing because we have like a group agreement that January 1st, 2026 is a new year. So because we have that group agreement, that's how the vibration flows. The other part of this is that this is connected to 2026 because if we add these up, so 8 plus 1 plus 1 is 10, which then if we add the 1 and the 0 together is also 1. But 2026 is not just a 1 year, it is a 10-1 year. So this is very similar to what we were seeing with that 238, where it's this 8 energy. It's the energy that's coming back around so that it can be ended or shifted or cleaned up so that it's able to then move into this new space. So that's interesting. This one has been coming up a lot. And actually, it's been a lot of the portal numbers I've been seeing the last few weeks where they have the 1s on either side. So like all of these are super active right now. Yeah, super crazy active right now. And then like 111 is always active because it's one of those amplification announcement numbers. Yeah. I'm catching up in the chat. Yeah. Yeah. You're right, Judy. Big time connections with hip hop. That's interesting. Okay. Yep. Koalas Live, I think, is where I saw that also. Now let's look at this big Mama Jamma. Let's look at this. So this is actually a really good example of how zeros behave. So this zero energy is like what I like to call either God or universe energy. It's the one vibration that we do not have control over. Like, we don't know when it's coming in. We know very little about how it's going to impact the space. But there are a few hints that we regularly get. So there's a few things that we can see that it regularly behaves this way. So whenever there's any vibration that's to the right of the zero, whether it's one or two, this vibration is getting diminished. And so usually what happens is that this God or universe energy comes in and it's diminishing one of these vibrations so that you could pay closer attention to the other side, because on the other side of this zero, so whatever is, and actually it would probably be all of this, whatever's on the other side of this zero, all of this vibration is getting enhanced. So it's getting fueled, it's like made stronger. And so the zero is coming in as this vibration that we have no control over. But it's coming in and it's diminishing this six, and then it's enhancing. And when I say enhancing, it's kind of like, you know how you can have like the light dimmers. So it's not that the six vibration is no longer there. It's just turned the dimmer on it. So it's not as bright. It's not as amplified. And then the dimmer on the 117 is getting turned up by that God universe, that zero energy. So that I see pretty consistently. But other than that, we usually don't know what the zero is going to do. But a lot of times it's good. It's good. So what's happening here is this God or universe energy is wanting you to not focus so much on your comfort level, because six is around comfort. But because all of these vibrations are neutral, this could be what we would consider comfortable, but also uncomfortable. It all resides in that same vibration. And so this God universe energy, and it's here twice. So this is like a lot of diminishment here. Is wanting you to not focus so much on if you're comfortable or uncomfortable. It's instead wanting you to focus here on this other side. It wants you to focus more on this 117, because this is what's getting enhanced. This is what's getting the spotlight, and needs to have this motion happening, with the vibration, with the energy. This is where it wants you to be working with. There is something here before I go into the 117. So I am seeing that it does matter. Sometimes it matters and sometimes it doesn't. When we add these up, we are getting 15, which is going to a 6. And so this is mattering right now because it's diminishing. So this God universe energy is diminishing, you really focusing in on this comfort level because it wants to bring in a new set of comforts. But how that's going to happen is making sure that you are taking action, but this action is in flow. It's in vibrational flow. It's not actions that you are forcing. It's not actions that are like going against the vibrational grain. Needs to be actions that are in flow. So that means it needs to be time. Timing is big when it's these action and flow. It's making sure that you are doing things in the correct timing, that you're not trying to force things to happen sooner than they're meant to. Because if by taking this action in flow, so taking this action at the right time in the right way, now that allows you to be able to see very clearly these two sides. So very clearly you'll be able to see like the pros and cons. So instead of having to navigate these pros and cons, like from the dark, by taking action and flow, allowing the timing to be right, you'll be able to see these pros and cons very easily. And then whatever outcome comes from this, you have to make sure that you're very clear about if this outcome is putting you in a place of bondage or freedom. Yes, exactly. So this comfort here is to it doesn't feel like it's necessarily to end, even though we do have this 117 is adding up to a 9. So we have some ending energy here, but it's not super strong. So really what it seems like is this comfort shouldn't be focused on. That if you get too caught up in how comfortable you are here, that's going to distract you and you won't be able to take the action at the right time here at this point. Because it really the focus should be on what action in flow needs to happen. Because it feels like like the vibrational flow is a little bit choppy around this vibration. It's kind of like riding rapids, but it's not like leading you to a waterfall. So it's like, stop worrying about if upstream is safer. Stop worrying about if you're running into a waterfall, because you're not. That's this 6 comfort here. This one here. Stop worrying about that so that you can take action in the right timing. Because if you're worried about this comfort, or like if you're going the right way, or are you comfortable or uncomfortable, it'll cause you to take action outside of flow. because that's when you'll start trying to force things, and that's not good. You need to allow things to happen in the proper timing, because also in that proper timing is what gives you the opportunity to truly see these pros and cons clearly. And whatever comes from this feels like a combination of this bondage and freedom. It's like you'll be in freedom from it because it'll be done, but there'll be still like some obligation, something that you are still kind of bonded to, at least for a moment. Um, but all of it is to be able to get to this new place of comfort. Does that make sense? Do you have any other questions? You're welcome, Judy. I'm glad it makes sense and that was helpful. Um, let's see. Let me see, make sure I didn't miss anything in the chat. I don't think I did. Okay. So, now that we have got caught up from yesterday, um, we can start making a list. So, what events, people, vibrations, words, songs, have come up in hip hop this week that you would like to talk about? Let me know in the chat. While you are typing, if you're typing, I am going to grab the December chart for hip hop. I do think we need to look at that too. Oh yeah. I saw that. I saw that, Josh. That was a good one. I don't know if I have anything to add on that cuz she had some really good evidence in that video. Anybody that hasn't watched it, go watch that Nixus J um theory on Kendrick possibly dropping on January 6th. And it's so interesting that that's the date also. Um yeah, there was a lot happening. Um, but what I was kind of feeling is that a lot was happening, but like it wasn't like anything brand new. It was like the vibrational threads were coming through to be able to try and get to like some kind of shifting point, like in preparation of shifting. And we've been feeling that, that shifting of hip hop, not just this year, but very strongly this year already. Well, here, let me put up, I'll put up this calendar. And what we can do is we can look at what has been happening this week, just astrologically, and what are some of the numbers around it for hip hop. And we can go from there. And you let me know what other questions you have or what else we should look at. Oh, I didn't think it was going to work. It was so slow. Okay, there we go. So, real quick, um, what I think we will do before we look at that full calendar, um, I think the only thing I could add to what Nixus said, because that video was awesome, um, is just showing you what, like, how to be able to do the calculation for yourself on that day or for a particular person on that day. So if we are talking about January 6th, 2026, and we want to look at what is the vibration of that day for hip hop, we would first calculate the vibration of this day. And so we would take the year plus the month plus the day. So then we have 10 plus 1 plus 6. So we get 17. Let's see. Maybe. Oh, and look, here's our 8 again. See, this 8 has been very dominant. And I think we saw 17 a lot yesterday, too. So then we take, so for hip hop, who was born August 11th, 1973, we take just the month. So August is the 8th month. And then we take the day, which is the 11th. And then we add in this day vibration, which is 17. So while generally everybody is going to be experiencing this 17 energy, which is 17 energy is associated with the star. So we've had this discussion about North Stars. So that's something there. But then if we look at hip hop specifically, so 8 plus 11 plus 17 gives us 36. And that goes to 9. And so on this day, hip hop is in the vibration of challenging comfort zones and growing in some way to bring an ending. This feels very much like an ending. It's not a shift. Where like 2025 was definitely shift. This feels like an ending to something, like closing the loop on something. So, what that is, I don't know. But also, I'm going to bring out my magical book. We haven't looked in here in a while. We can look up what is the experience number in here. For anybody that hasn't seen me use this book before, this is one of my favorite numerology books. It's called Numerology and the Divine Triangle. And so let's see. A 36-9 experience. The key words are, let me put them up here. Obstacles, intuition, invention. Uh-oh. Gotta move it down a little bit. Oh my gosh, you guys are gonna get me laughing again. Which I don't mind. But then it makes me want to be in the chat more with you than here. And leadership. So, okay. Thank you for that broad covering of all possibilities. But this also says that this vibration may temporarily place some burden on you. However, persevere with relentless determination. Let's see. It says, remain intent upon your goal and have confidence that it will soon be reached. All problems will be solved. Have joy in the prospect of this completion. Hmm. This also is 36 is associated with the 10 of Wands, which is one of the cards in tarot that is around the burden. So it's ending the burden. So, I don't know. I don't know if I have much more to add because Nyx has had a lot of really good evidence. But this may be supportive. I guess we'll see. I suspect, though, in 2026, um, it'll be very clear who has ended things or shifted their energy. And that's going to be really for all of us. We, of course, will see it for like the celebrities and those that are in that space, or, you know, just outside at all. We'll see that happening. But it'll be true for us also that wherever we have fully ended things, where we have consciously and intentionally made the decision to end something to make space for something new to come in, it'll be very clear. Where how it'll be clear is like you'll see either like opportunities for yourself or others where those people that see that opportunity and are able to jump on it, they have done that ending or shifting work of 2025, at least in that area of life. If opportunities pop up and there's people that are hemming and hawing and don't know if they can do it or can't make it work, those are probably the people that still have too much of that energy that was supposed to end in 2025. So, we know some people in the hip hop space that have not ended or come to a completion the things that needed to come to a completion in 2025. So it's going to be harder to have this new beginning and have this new energy come into the space in 2026. So we'll see. We'll see. Oh my gosh, Judy. Your bye bye is hilarious. Okay. I can't. So let's look at what else was happening vibrationally this week. And we can look and see what's happening in the coming weeks. So, one thing I did know. Yes. Yes, Josh. Yes. Yes. And probably what it's most likely to see. So with that one energy, because you know, all vibration is neutral, it'll be like one part of that separation will receive that one energy and will move in a way that will help new things to be discovered, like new inventions, new like energetic flow to create and to invent, um, and to like enhance and change new identities, new way of doing things, new thinking. But then on the other side, that new energy will be either not, it'll be like ignored or not taken into account, or it usually makes what they're doing very, very hard. So if you've been doing things the same way over and over again, and you're supposed to be shifting into a new way of doing things, but you're refusing. It gets it so it's not working. So we've kind of already started seeing that this year, where people are doing, um, and especially in the hip hop space, we've seen it where people are trying to do the same thing that they've done before, and it's not working the same way. Like our stats are not the same anymore. Things are being redefined, and so then not anymore fitting into those spaces that they originally did. And this is true for all of us. So yeah, that's a really good observation. And this new energy, it can be karmic energy, but it will definitely be in a new form. I don't know that we'll see a lot, maybe later on in the year. So maybe like when we get to like summer is when we could possibly see some of this karmic coming back around. Um but it's going to be a lot of this new industry, like this new energy, either creating opportunities, creating creativity, creating invention, or really becoming stumbling blocks for people. Yes, exactly, Josh. Exactly. Exactly. That's what that looks like. Because what you're doing is not working anymore. And instead of inventing a new way, you're trying to like bulldoze the old forward. Yeah, that's very much what it will look like. Yeah, that'll be interesting to see. And it'll start like it's probably already started. Like we could probably already see it because what happens is as we get to an ending of one energy, so we're near the end of this 2025 energy, the new energy is already coming in. So it's kind of like when a river flows into the ocean, there's a point where there's both there. So there's a point where you have both the fresh water from the river and the salt water from the ocean at the same place. And I think that's why we're getting a lot of 14s, because that's a mixing of energies that don't necessarily come together, but they're both there and existent in that space. So you can look for like signs and um, of what's happening, probably starting probably in October, mid October, end of October until now is when you'd really start seeing the blending of these energies of things ending and shifting at the same time as new things beginning to grow and new energy beginning to come in. All right. Oh my gosh. What was, oh yeah, here. I almost forgot what today's date was. That's a little bit sad. So here's the week we just came out of. And so for hip hop, because hip hop is in its Chiron return, so it does have open wounds because the Chiron is the wound space. So hip hop's wound space is open, which can make things very uncomfortable because the wound is very much seen and exposed. And you look at it and you're like, ooh, that's kind of infected. But it also, because it's open and it's exposed, there's very big opportunities to begin the healing process, to use this nine energy to clear out. So I don't think that it should be lost that hip hop's in this Chiron return in this 9 year of 2025. And so this month, we've talked about it where there's been pretty significant Chiron aspects that are happening. So at the beginning of the month, we had Chiron and Mars creating some opportunities for wound healing. The one I forgot yesterday is the Sun and Chiron. That was last Sunday on the 14th. So highlighting that wound. This week on the 18th, so on Thursday, is when we had Venus and Chiron. So Venus and Chiron is the exposure of the wounds that are impacting the feminine space or the feminine energy. Because all of us, every vibrational, energetic being, whether it's a person or it's a culture, it's a group of people, all have both positive and or both have masculine and feminine energy that work together, and they work in different ways. So where here on the 5th, we really had a highlight of the wounds that were impacting the masculine energy. On the 18th, we had a lot of exposure of the wounds that were impacting the feminine energy. And that's still open right now. And it's interesting that we had that opening of that set of wounds right before, like yesterday, we had the new moon, and it's not in Scorpio, it's in Sagittarius. But we had the new moon yesterday. And also, I was reminded that yesterday was it was when Three-Eye Atlas, so if it's the interstellar object, if it's a comet, whatever it is, it's been, in our solar system really impacting the space. And it has been resonating very highly with healing vibrations. Like, it's whatever it is sending into the earth space has a lot to do with healing. And so hip hop with these wounds open could really benefit from some of this extra healing energy. But yesterday was when it was as close to earth as it's going to get in its whole transit. And it actually was about the same time that we were on live last night. So it was during that new moon peak. And then it was as close to the earth as it was going to be. So good healing energy that can be pulled in. Tomorrow, and we probably are already feeling some of it today, we can look and see. So if you look closely at the hip hop space, probably starting like later in the day on Thursday, all day Friday, all day today is when we would start seeing this energy. And it's this Chiron with Jupiter square. We did learn so much yesterday. That was amazing. I'm gonna put this in a different color. But let me scroll down here and let's talk about this, because this is going to so probably late in the day Thursday, the 18th. The actual event is tomorrow on Sunday the 21st, but we'll probably feel it pretty strongly. Probably until about the 24th. But in the hip hop space, we might feel it longer because the wound is open. But what's happening tomorrow is Jupiter is square with Chiron. And so what's happening is that whenever we have this square energy, this is actually creating a tension. So there's tension between the wound, so the wounds of hip hop. And because this is the first because this is the first Chiron return for hip hop, it's operating very similarly to us as people. In comparison to like a country where like the United States is also in a Chiron return, its wounds are open right now also. Um, but this is the United States' fifth Chiron return. This is the fifth time that these wounds have been open and been given the opportunity to heal. So for hip hop, because it's the first time around, most of this wounding are wounds that have been inflicted on hip hop. It could be some, they always are some wounds that are inflicted on others that hip hop has to be accounted for and accountable for. But most of the time on this first Chiron return, because this is what's true for us as people, it's mostly about how we have been wounded and how these wounds are preventing us from really stepping fully into our identity. So tomorrow, and we already are kind of feeling it, there's a tension between the wound and expansion, because that's Jupiter. So where hip hop right now is in this shift, and it's been seeing this divide, especially around a lot of these wounding spaces, because a lot of the wounds of hip hop have been inflicted on it outside of itself. So it's the capitalistic system that has inflicted some of these wounds. It's the the discrimination, the classism, the racism from outside of itself that have inflicted these wounds. And so it's looking at what are the wounds that are creating this tension like sandpaper and preventing hip hop from growing. Hi, Rumple. Hi, Rumple. It's good to see you. Thanks for being here. So you know what? Let's go ahead and look at, let me grab the hip hop's birth chart and we can look at how this would be impacting hip hop specifically. Let me find it. I know I have it open. Yeah, here we go. Let's just go down. Maybe. Okay. So I'm going to post this here. You can start taking a look. And I'm going to get some water. But so what we're looking at in particular is Chiron and Jupiter, because that's what we were talking about. So here's Chiron in hip hop's birth chart, and Jupiter is right here. Okay, I'm getting some water. Oh. Oh, now I see why we have the parentheses of mean. So, oh, this is actually extremely interesting. I'm glad we put this up. Um, so one thing that I didn't mention up here is that both of these are actually retrograde right now. So both Jupiter and Chiron are retrograde. So all that energy is turning inward. And so we'll definitely see this tension within the hip hop space. It's not a outward and inward like battle. It's not an in to outward battle. It's within hip hop. Hi, Tiptoe Joe. I'm so glad you made it. Thanks for being here. Okay. That's a little nerve wracking. You putting me on the TV, making me look all big. Crazy, but okay. Okay. So both Jupiter and Chiron are retrograde here. And one of the first things I saw when we put up, so this is hip hop's chart. Well, we'll put it over here. This is hip hop's birth chart. Hip hop. But one of the things I saw is hip hop was born with Jupiter retrograde and with Chiron retrograde. And so what that means is that with this tension that is happening between Chiron and Jupiter, um, it's something that hip hop is used to. But it's like we've talked about before. It may be one of those comfort zones where you're comfortable, but you should not be comfortable. Like, it's not really a good thing to be comfortable in that space. Um, but the other thing is this red line that's connecting Jupiter and Chiron here in the chart is a square. So that means that one of the major challenges for hip hop is and has always been and probably always will be how the wounds are preventing it from expanding, because we have Chiron is the wounds and Jupiter is the expansion. So this is probably definitely why we would see this examples of where the wounds of hip hop are preventing it from growing and expanding all the time, not just in the energy that we are experiencing right now, because it actually has this aspect of part as part of its birth chart. The other things that are interesting is that we've kind of talked about this before a little bit, I believe, but Chiron is in Aries, which is around the identity. So hip hop has identity wounds. So it's not just looking at wounds in general, it's looking at wounds around who hip hop is. How is it represented? Who does it represent? And this Jupiter is over here in Aquarius, where it is expanding this space of rebellion, revolution. But, like, if you think about revolution, it's very much for the people. Move this over. So, what's happening here is there's this tension that has always been in hip hop, and we got to be careful and pay attention in the hip hop space this week in particular, because as this aspect is coming up and this tension, this discomfort, because like we've talked about before also, that the greatest learning and healing comes out of discomfort. Hip hop may not be uncomfortable in this energy because it has it in its birth chart. So it's going to be harder to make it uncomfortable. And that's dangerous because then that means it's going to be harder to heal those wounds. So that the wounds that any of the wounds of identity that aren't allowing hip hop to be for the people, that aren't allowing it to expand into these like revolutionary spaces, those are the wounds that need to be healed. It's like who hip hop is, or how it defines itself, could be causing and being contributed to some of this tension. Yeah, let me catch up in the chat here. Oh, okay. I don't need to hear about you talking about your drinks. That's fine. You talk about it. Okay, yes, Rumpel. Yeah, exactly. Nope, that's exactly right. That, yeah, where these people can be in bad situations, and that includes like this culture of hip hop. It can also be true for a country or a group of people, can be in a space where they they feel too comfortable in the space that they're in. And we just talked about how important it was to make sure that things are ending that need to end in this 2025-9 energy, so that we could start fresh and new in 2026. But seeing this in hip hop's chart, this is a very important time for hip hop. You all are funny. So that's interesting. So now that makes me want to come back up here and look at this calendar again and see what else we have coming up that we might need to look at in this chart. Yes. Yes, exactly. Exactly, Rumple. Exactly. It's exactly. It's the wounds that are preventing that expansion from happening, and not just the wounds, but it's um and not just the learning, it's the learning about self. It's learning about identity, and the expansion of the identity is what's being hindered. Interesting, right? So let's see. What else do we have happening? Oh, we do have I think it's next week. Next week, let's see. Yeah, it's so next week. Let me mark it here. So like starting on the 24th, and like through the weekend, so we could talk about this again next Saturday. Um, this is when we are having some Capricorn events. So we have the sun is moving into Capricorn, actually tomorrow, moving from Sagittarius to Capricorn. But Mars is in Capricorn, and on the 24th, Venus is in Capricorn. And so we have our dominant masculine energy, our dominant feminine energy, and the spotlight that is put on them, the sun, all in this Capricorn space. And Capricorn is very much about the structure of things. So then what we can do. Oh, yeah. It is. It's going to be my birthday next week. What we could do then is look at what's happening in the Capricorn space for hip hop. And we could do this for ourselves also. So let's see. Here's the Capricorn space. So for hip hop, it actually has some pretty major things happening here in this Capricorn space. So hip hop has the North Node and the Moon in Capricorn. So the North Node is purpose. And then that Moon is that heart space. So next week, we could see some pretty big movement of energy around hip hop's purpose and its heart space. What's coming up though is that remember that this north node is always attached to a south node that's on the opposite side. And the south node is what is already known. So hip hop already knows how to be purposeful in this Cancer space. It already knows how to take care of home. But it's having to learn and step into this purpose of the career space, of the professional space. And we kind of have always been seeing that in hip hop of like this juxtaposition of like home and family and like loyalty, because that all would be in that Cancer space, um versus being in that professional space, which would be Capricorn. um like understanding the structures and the systems and being able to work with them. So we actually see that conflict between like the industry part of hip hop and the artistry part of hip hop. We see it here in the chart. But what is also here is that this, I need a different color. Here we go. This moon. So the moon is ruled, like it rules Cancer. So the moon is tied over here to this Cancer energy. So instead of having this back and forth between home and career, if hip hop would use its heart to pull what it already knows about that home space, family space, that loyalty space, and bring it into this Capricorn space, it would do a lot better. It would be closer to fulfilling this purpose. And I think we are starting to see that, but this most likely is going to be displayed between, like, for people that what we would call like independent. It doesn't seem like we've gotten there. Well, hip hop hasn't gotten there quite yet, but it's something around having the home energy, the feeling of home in the professional space. And probably those independent artists are able to tap into this where they're fulfilling the purpose of hip hop, but in a way that they already know, or they can keep close to the chest, they can keep close to themselves, they can keep their heart fully in it. So that's really interesting. So that's something that we can look out for more next week. Because next week, as Venus is moving into Capricorn, it's gonna, this Capricorn space is gonna be highly active. And within here also, we have this last aspect with Chiron. And this is Mercury and Chiron. So Mercury has very strong ties with hip hop because this is our communication space. So Mercury is how things are communicated by hip hop, but it's in trine to Chiron, which means that it's opening up this wound of Chiron and actually giving an opportunity to communicate that wound. So this is like an opportunity to heal the wound through communication. So through actually giving voice to the wound, which hip hop already does. But we can also look and see, might not be able to see. Good gosh, I didn't realize I wrote this much on here. Oh, okay, wait. I found it. So, hip hop has, I don't have a color to use though. I guess we'll use black. Hip hop has Mercury right over here. It's in Leo. And it's in the 5th house. So hip hop has its best communication when it's talking about really itself. It's putting the spotlight on itself. That's that Leo energy. And it's really around this fifth space, this 5th house space of like general relationships. So it's 5th house is right outside of the 4th house, which is home. So these are the relationships that are right outside of like that home family space. These are like your really good friends. So using the resources, because 5th house is also resources, what kind of resources do you have in other people in your space? Interesting. Okay, let me catch up in chat and make sure I get some water. Yes, yes. 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 Yeah. You all got it. All right. Oh, hi, sweet cookies. Thanks for being here. Welcome in. I did see, Judy, you pointed out the 27th and the 30th. So let's go look at those real quick. So it is the 27th when we have that Mercury trine Chiron. The 30th actually is probably coming up, and I probably have spoken about it. Because for hip hop, the 30th is resonating at a 70. And 70 is the numerical vibration of essence, but also the numerical vibration of shadow. So there's an opening up of like the exposure of what has been hidden on these kinds of days. Interesting. So we can see some interesting things next week. It's definitely interesting with that Jupiter Chiron square that's already in the chart here. That's so interesting. Okay, I'm gonna do one thing that I didn't get to do yesterday. I'm gonna use the hip hop chart to do it because I wanted to show you. Um, and then we could probably spin the wheel unless you all have something else you want to talk about. So we kind of already started talking about this, so this is probably a good segue in. Where when we were talking about, oh my gosh, where is it now? Here? Yeah. So when we were talking about the north node and south node and how it's on opposite sides there, um, we were talking about this juxtaposition of um Cancer and Capricorn on either side. So we've already talked about how like everybody has all of the houses where the houses are those areas of life. Well, everybody also has all of the zodiac sign vibrations, those energies that you're working with in your chart. And the way that they are set up is that they actually are set up as axes. So this actually is like a wheel. So they go across like this. Boop. I'm probably gonna have to get a new chart. No, it's okay. This will be fine. So everybody has all of these. Whoa, that line was crazy. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, seven's already covered. Okay, got it. So everybody has all of these different energies. And so when we talk about like needing to or feeling unbalanced or needing to balance, a lot of times it's really understanding where these different energies are within your chart. So that because you have access to all of these. So there's no reason why anything should be harder for you, but we know life be lifing. So it is hard for all of us. But I know I like to just have the information so that I can at least feel somewhat in control or somewhat at least intentional in how I'm working with the energies. So we have 6 different axes that are on this plane. Ah, yeah. So the red and blue lines are the aspects. They're like the geometric shapes that are being created and how these different planet vibrations are working with each other. Yeah. So this chart is hip hop's chart. So when we have any chart that is for a specific person, we'll always have the red and blue lines in there. Yeah. Yeah. I could send you a blank one. Mhm. That'd be great. Thank you. So we have these um 6 different axes. So where the houses are the area of life. The signs are like the type of energy that we're using. And then the planets are like the how you're using that energy. So like where the sun, you're using that energy in your mind, or the moon, you're using that energy within your heart space. Oh, I don't know. Wait, do I only use this one? I only use like so I've been only using this one today. I don't know. I sometimes use the 13 house one, but mostly the 12th house. I don't know if I answered your question because I don't know if I fully understood it. Stop it, Josh. Oh my gosh. So let's look at these real quick. So the first axis is right here. It's with Aries and Libra. And this axis is all about identity. So where Aries is me, Libra is we. So this is where you would have a balancing of energies between um, the how you're using the energy for yourself versus how you're using the energy for others. And so for hip hop, we can see that there's like a lot of these planets are here on this axis. So what we were on this axis. So what we were just looking at is Chiron, which is right here, sitting right in Aries, of the me, the identity. So this is like the identity axis. And there's Chiron sitting right there, where it's my wounds are in this space of me, but I have to also understand that I have this energy of we. And one of the strong energies on this other side is Pluto, which is transformation. So it's the energy of the transformation. You're meant to contribute to the world. So this is a big axis for hip hop. But then the next one isn't as impactful. And this is Taurus with Scorpio. And so Taurus with Scorpio is all about your resources or your possessions. So Taurus is mine and Scorpio is yours. So it's my resources, my possessions, my value on the Taurus side. It's your possessions, your resources, your values on the other side. So I really just wanted to show it on the chart real quick so you could see that everybody has all of these axes, but where here in hip hop we can see where this Aries Libra axis is gonna be it's more impactful on how hip hop moves and how it's behaving in the world and what it's contributing to the world than this axis here of Taurus and Scorpio, which is actually all pretty funny because where usually when you have somebody that's like wanting to be super fancy and show off what they usually have big Taurus energy. So I'm going to just quickly write down these 6 axes for you so you have them, but we can talk about them again another time. So we have Aries, Libra. Oh, wow, I wrote that so big. Oh, well. Which is the balancing between me and we. We have Taurus, Scorpio, yeah, I have the list from yesterday somewhere. We have Taurus, Scorpio, which is the balance between mine and yours. We have Gemini and Sagittarius, which is both of these are very much about communication. But Gemini is more talk, whereas Sagittarius is more right. It also is like student teacher. So we'll put that in a different color here. And then we talked about Cancer and Capricorn, where this is home, balancing with like career. And then we have Leo and Aquarius, which is I'm empowered. Balanced with I empower you. And then the last one here is the one that makes the least the number amount of sense to me, but it's Virgo and Pisces. And this is really about service. This is the service axis. Um, and so this is about so Virgo is really about for or like to myself versus like for or to the universe. So where Virgo is very close knit energy, Pisces is like the biggest energy that you can get. Oh my gosh, I gotta catch up in the chat now. To all in these emojis. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. You all are too funny. All right. Do we have anything else? Any other numbers? Any other events? Any other dates you want to look at? Or we could be ready to spin our number wheel, see what our vibration is for this week. Yeah. This teacher kind of has extra eyes. So I always see it. Oh, we know what Rumple wants. All right. So we're ready to spin the wheel. I'll wait a few more minutes. Not minutes, a few more seconds. See if anybody has anything else. And then we could spin our wheel. What? You need to stop, Josh. Don't even. Because I started out this whole live saying that there was a lot happening in hip hop, but there wasn't any like very super strong vibrations. It was really like things were being wrapped up. So none of us really contributed very much, but it was still good. I think it was still good. Stop being mean to yourself. Okay, so let's spin our wheel. So while I'm getting over to our wheel, for anybody that hasn't been here before or just needs a reminder, we spin this random number wheel every week to be able to get a vibration that we can watch out for throughout the week. And so this is just a really good way of us starting to try and be more aware of the vibrations that are around us and that we are interacting with. So then we can be more intentional in our use of vibration and energy. because I have been told that that is where we are going, that everybody needs to be more intentional about how they are interacting with and using vibration and energy. It's like we're coming to the end of kindergarten, y'all. We can't just eat paste and get by. Can't just color pictures anymore. We got to go get ready to sit in the classroom. So we're doing our practice. All right, so here we go. What? Why does the wheel look so weird? Does it look weird for you all? That's kind of creeping me out. Okay, let me try and fix this. Oh yeah, it is weird looking weird to you all too. Okay, here we go. Spin that wheel. Woohoo! Okay. 712. Hi, B. Thanks for being here. I'm glad you made it. Let me get back over here. Maybe. Maybe it'll let me. Okay, there we go. Yeah, it's almost your birthday, huh? The universe has spoken. So 712 is the vibration for the week. So you can pay attention and see if you see this as a number anywhere. This is also one that you could see as a time. So paying attention if we see this is time. But also we can look for the themes of this vibration. So when a vibration is rolling through life and through our space, we can see the themes kind of pop up. And so the themes for this, we already have been talking about. Because if we add these up, we get a 10, which goes to a 1. And so the 10 we already talked about is really this energy of 2026 coming into the space very strongly. So we can look and see, where do we see things about 2026 shifting to 2026, thinking about 2026 coming into the space with this new energy. So that will probably be the strongest theme. But then we also have some other themes here too. So this 12 is coming through very strong, where this is a change in perspective. Oh, you just gonna skip the whole year? Okay. So a change in perspective. So we can look and see if we are observing ourselves or others, um, shifting the way that they are seeing the world. That's this change in perspective, where this could be something small that you may not know is happening. Like it could be changing the way that somebody is thinking, or the way that somebody is behaving, and you may or may not see it, but you could probably see it within yourself. But then this change in perspective, and this is the part that you'd probably see more outside of themselves or yourself, is this action and flow. So, from this new perspective, able to take action in vibrational flow. So, very interesting. So, a change in perspective opens up this space to take action in vibrational flow that is bringing in this new energy. And so that is our vibration for this week. But also this week, it's my birthday week. Woohoo! So my birthday is on Tuesday, the 23rd. I'm so excited. I don't know. I may go live to be able to just hang out with everybody. Um, but I did want to make sure to point out, whether I go live or not, that on your birthday is when you actually are stepping into a new vibrational container. And so, for those of us that have our birthday at the end of the year, um, I will be stepping into 2025 energy on my birthday. So we can talk more about that another time. But yes, that's what's happening for me next week. But everybody will have, hopefully, I will see you. But if I don't, have a wonderful week. Um, have a wonderful holiday season celebrating whatever you celebrate, and or just being able to spend time with each other and have a good time with your families. I will be back next Friday. So even though it's the day after Christmas on the 26th, I will be back live. So hopefully I will see you there. And you'll probably see me around this week. We'll hang out and party for my birthday. Oh yeah, because of me throwing me a birthday party. Oh, I'm so excited. And it's so funny because I like my birthday. I get excited for my birthday, but I don't know. There's just something about this birthday that I'm extra excited about. I don't know. I don't know. Something really good's about to happen on this birthday. I feel it. Thank you, thank you, thank you, sweet cookies. Thank you for all the birthday wishes. Thank you, Judy. Oh, good. Alrighty. So I will see you all sometime next week. And at some point, have a wonderful night and have a wonderful week. And I will see you soon. Oh, wait. Am I waiting? I just saw your messages, sweet cookies. I'm not kicking you out. I thought we were done. Thank you. Sweet cookies, you can, if you have additional questions or anything, you can certainly contact me through Discord. That's fine. You can do that. And we'll be back. We'll be back soon. All right. Have a good one. Have a good night and a good holiday season. I will see you next week.